do to help our community. Many of our neighbors, our loved ones, and members throughout our community lost their lives today. And we are with you. We see you, we feel you, and we are going to help you get through this. As part of the state of California, along with our governor, our federal and local officials, our main mission now is to keep people safe, minimize any further devastation. And for those of you who lost your homes, who lost your property, who lost your loved ones, we are going to help you rebuild. We're going to do everything we can to fight for you every day, now, this week, over the next couple of months and years, to make sure you get your life back. And that is my promise. That is the promise of everyone behind us. But please stay diligent. Heed the warnings of our public safety officers, and please stay out of harm's way. Thank you to our men and women on the front lines, our first responders. We are not out of this. It is all hands on deck, and it's going to be a long couple nights still. So thank you to everyone who's helping these efforts, and please pray for us.
Next, Superintendent of the Pasadena Unified School District, Dr. Blanco.
Good evening, and I want to echo the sentiments that our heart goes out to all of our families, our staff, our employees who have suffered losses during this devastating event. Behind me, you see the power of us, the city, the mayor, the city manager, our leader from the PCC, all came around the school district to help us provide for our families and our students. I saw many of my families here today who have lost their homes along with their staff. Thank you for being here with them, and thank you for supporting them. Our schools are going to remain closed for the rest of the week. We are continuing to assess the damages at our school. Our maintenance and operation team, along with our police department, the sheriffs, and our fire department, have been assessing our buildings. Our preliminary assessment results show that the fire has substantially damaged 5 campuses. While most of them are in good condition, we have confirmed these 5 campuses in Altadena. Elliott's Arts Magnet School is damaged. Franklin Elementary, which was closed in 2020, has damage of about 80%. 3 campuses that house other schools have sustained damages: Edison, Loma Alta, and Noise. Please note this information is preliminary. The fire is not contained, and some of our schools still remain in the path of the fire. We're working together with our city partners to do everything we can to preserve our schools. Our next steps are recovery. We're planning for recovery as we respond to the emergency, as we know our families are dependent on us. Public education is the bedrock of democracy. We learned that in COVID, and we will be here to help our families and our staff get through what is happening in our city. Thank you. We're deeply grateful for everything that you all have done to help and support us.
Next, President of Pasadena City College, Dr. Jose Gomez.
Hi, I'm Jose A. Gomez, Jose A. Gomez, Gomez. Over the last 24 hours, our hearts have been broken by what has transpired. We have lost our peace. Although Pasadena City College has sustained minor damage, our hearts and our prayers and our thoughts are with our greater community. We are so grateful at Pasadena City College for the incredible leadership that the city of Pasadena and all of our legislators and all of our elected officials have provided, not just to our college, but also to our community. The campus will be closed and we will not be having classes until next Monday. We will resume regular schedule and classes on Monday, if possible. Of course, it's a very fluid situation. But more importantly than that, we have activated much of our campus community in support of our partners and our greater Pasadena San Gabriel Valley family. Our emergency management response team has been deployed here to the convention center to help the city. We have our nursing staff who will be arriving soon to help our City Department of Public Health. And in partnership with our superintendent of Pasadena Unified School District, Dr. Elizabeth Blanco, we are also serving meals to our PUSD families at Pasadena City College. We are here to help in any way possible. And we, of course, appreciate all of your support and all of your help. Pasadena and the San Gabriel Valley has been an amazing partner to PCC, and we are here to be an important and critical partner to the communities that we serve. Thank you.
Next, from the Humane Society of Diversion.
I'm Dia DuVernay, President and CEO of Pasadena Humane. We're a nonprofit animal welfare organization and shelter serving Pasadena and 10 surrounding areas, including Altadena, which has been very hard hit by this fire. And our hearts really go out to all the people who have lost their homes and their pets in this disaster. We recently just heard from one of our board members who lost her home with her 2 cats in it. I'm sure we're going to be hearing more stories like this in the coming hours and days. But our primary focus has been over the past 24 hours to assist people who have been safely evacuating with their pets and need a place for their pets to go. So we've taken in over 250 pets in the past 24 hours. And we have been working today to coordinate with shelters throughout the state to help take the animals that are in our shelter to make room for more animals who are coming in. I want to really thank everyone who has offered assistance, including the shelters around the state and people who we see in our community who are rescuing neighbors' pets and bringing them to us. It really has been heartwarming to see even our staff members who have been evacuated and are losing their homes coming to the shelter to shelter with their pets and take care of other people's pets. It's going to take a real community effort to recover from this. We've had lots of inquiries from people wanting to help. We're taking names of those who would be interested in fostering animals as we get more animals in. Right now, our primary need is monetary donations so that we can provide emergency services to pets that have been impacted by the fires. We are also providing food and other pet supplies if anyone is in need. And we really encourage you, if you are evacuating, please make sure your pet has identification. Take pet supplies with you. And if possible, please try to stay with family or friends who can accommodate you and your pet, as the shelters are really becoming quite stressed in this situation. I want to give a few concrete resources because they have been rapidly evolving. For those in the foothill areas who have horses in need of shelter, right now the Fairplex in Pomona is taking them, the Industry Hills Equestrian Center, and soon LA County will be opening the Antelope Valley Fairgrounds. We've heard that the LA Equestrian Center, where horses have been kept, is currently being evacuated. We have recently started to see the first injured animals coming in. We've had a cat and some wildlife coming in. If you do find injured wildlife, we'd like you to call our wildlife helpline at 626-344-1129. We're very thankful to our skilled veterinarians who are providing care to these animals. And we'll continue to provide care around the clock to animals in need in our community. Thank you.
Huh. You has GLP-1 meds now?
No! Oh yeah! No!
They're delivered to your door in 7 days. What?
Holy shit, that's fast.
Whoa.
Get started at new.com. I could wait one call and use everything.
What does it mean to be rich? Maybe rich is less about reaching a magic number and more about discovering magic. The key to being rich is knowing what counts. Hablemos del salario.
¿Qué es lo que ofrecen los de tu exposición?
Es competitivo.
Si competitivo fuera un número, ¿cuál sería?
Un número competitivo. Con Indeed no hay incómodas conversaciones de salario.
Un número. Generative.
Next, because this is still an active fire with very little, if any, containment, I think it's important to hear from the fire chief. And our fire chief is here with us, Chief Chad Augustine.
Good afternoon. My name is Chad Augustine, your Pasadena Fire Chief. ChadAugustin. I'd like to give you a current sit stat on our Eden fire. We can confirm that the Eden fire is now over 10,600 acres at 0% containment. I'd be remiss though if I didn't highlight some of the heroic actions last night by your public safety, police and fire, who literally saved lives, pulling people out from burning buildings, getting them out of streets and vehicles where they had no ways to evacuate. Our death count today would be significantly higher without their heroic actions. We currently have 60 strike teams requested and 750 firefighters working on this incident. We're a unified command with multiple agencies to include law, LA County Fire, LA County Sheriff, and Angeles National Forest, along with Pasadena Fire. We have strike teams committed from all over the state and as far as Arizona coming to assist us. Multiple structures have been damaged or destroyed as this wind-driven fire had wind gusts of 70 plus miles per hour. We had spotting of embers 2 to 3 miles ahead of the fire. I can confirm tonight that we have somewhere between 200 and 500 structures damaged or lost. We really need, as it becomes safe to do so, and we get a better handle on this fire, we're going to be able to, we need to come in and be able to survey the damage to get an exact total of number of structures that have been damaged or completely lost. We continue to be in red flag conditions, and we expect that to be through Thursday with variable and high wind speeds. Thankfully not as strong as what we saw last night. We are encouraging people to stay updated as the weather can continue to change very rapidly. Please, if we issue an evacuation order, heed our request. Be prepared, have your go bag, and immediately evacuate. Thankfully, the current forecasts allow us today to start getting aircraft in to fight this fire. Since around 10 a.m., we've had aircraft doing water drops. With the goal of limiting the fire spread, we will come behind those water drops with hand crews and fire engines to get a containment line around this fire. We expect, with favorable conditions over the next couple days, to start making good progress on this fire. And with that, I'll turn it over to the police chief.
Chief, will you take a question on the statistics and the current situation with you have your firefighters? How are they holding up over the past 22 hours now?
Yeah, they're exhausted. We need those reinforcements coming in, but they've done incredible work. Where they've, an example is crews that fought 15 house fires over a 28-hour period. They didn't save any of them, but they prevented 2 or 3 blocks away from burning down. So great work, not just from your Pasadena fire, but throughout this entire region.
And you requested 60 strike teams. What's the status of that? How long before they get here?
Great question. So we have multiple strike teams that arrived. We're in the early like 15-ish strike teams, and we expect over the next 24 hours we'll be close to 50. Even some of the Arizona strike teams should be here by this evening.
There were maybe 1 or 2 firefighters on scene.
Yeah, sure. I would be kidding all of you if I said we didn't have resources stretched yesterday, right? It's a rarity that you have 2 major brush fires in LA County, like we did yesterday with the Eden Fire in the Palisades, let alone the multiple other fires that we saw. So we had an extreme drawdown from with LA County Fire, and they are our biggest partner. Even with their drawdown, they sent us a lot of resources last night, which was really helpful. It's unfortunate with the wind gusts that we had, up to 70-mile-an-hour winds. They had to ground their aircraft last night, but we really relied on all of LA County to bring us resources, and then with the mutual aid requests from up and down the state. Did that answer your question? Thank you.
Chief, you said
Talked about it or lack of water at all on fires. There's a similar situation in the Palisades when they said it was due to the amount of water usage at one time. Is this what we're seeing? What's the situation there? Start for example, well, why does the city
Yeah, when you have multiple fires, multiple city blocks on fire, with I'll throw a number out, 100 fire engines flowing water, we are gonna stretch our water system. On top of that, we have a loss of power temporarily, which impacted our water system. But I'll be clear, we could have had much more water with those wind gusts. We were not stopping that fire last night. Those erratic wind gusts were throwing embers for multiple miles ahead of the fire, and that's really what caused the rapid spread of this fire.
Chief,
Specific fires that the most specific because a beach will make approximately 6 to 8,000 light, like transforming fire in a radio.
That's correct. The time of that is correct. And around 6:30 was when the fire came in the Altadena area. It was actually in LA County, but right on the border. We had both Pasadena and LA County resources arriving almost simultaneously. And then, of course, the fire quickly moved into the Pasadena city limits.
so 10,600 acres on fire, 0% containment, hundreds of homes destroyed. What can you say to the community tonight to give them hope that you'll have a handle on this anytime in the
What gives me hope is when I look at the trees and bushes around here. Last night was incredible, right? It was like something that most of you have probably never seen. Tonight we have very mild wind conditions where we can get aircraft and a ton of additional resources getting their hands around this fire. That's what gives me confidence that we're going to get a handle on this fire.
Why don't we bring the police chief up, and then then you can ask questions of both chiefs.
The cause, you're gonna love my generic answer, but the cause is under investigation, right? We have multiple fire investigators as well as fire and arson investigators from LA County and local resources investigating that. And we need to let them do their good work so that we can come up with an accurate cause and origin.
We'll ask the chief to stay here for more questions, but in the meantime, because this also involves a public safety situation and neighborhoods that have been evacuated and homes, the message I want to reiterate is don't even think about it. Don't think about coming to loot any of these properties in Pasadena or Altadena. because the Pasco Police Department, as well as the LA County Sheriff, and resources from the state of California will be out there patrolling and protecting these neighborhoods. With that, I'll turn it over to our police chief, Eugene Harris, to provide you more facts and details.
My name is Gene Harris. I'm the police chief for the city of Pasadena. Gene is Gene. Last name is Harris, Harris. Last night, at the beginning of this incident, first responders from the city of Pasadena responded to the area of this event, primarily on a safety mission. But when they got there, they rapidly found an escalating fire that was growing rapidly with the wind gusts, and it turned into a rescue evacuation scenario. Those first responders acted heroically by going in and either evacuating or rescuing numerous folks that are now housed in this building behind me. It was nothing short of heroic, and as they got there, it rapidly turned into that type of mission. So we had people from our police department, our fire department, certainly reached out into our Area C partners, local, state, and county folks that came to assist. And it took all night to get folks rescued or evacuated from their homes. And that effort was robust in that end. We also reached out beyond our county into other counties. We had some other agencies roll assets to us that could help us solve this problem. And they are still on scene at our command post as we speak. As you heard said, this is an active scenario from a law enforcement perspective. You've heard all of the fire circumstances and issues. I'm going to talk a little bit about what we in law enforcement are doing in this incident. As I said, it started out as a evacuation and rescue mission. It has now been a transition for law enforcement into a protection and community safety mission. And we will be staunch in protecting the community and protecting the homes of those folks who've had to be evacuated. We will have numerous folks in and around the area. Upwards of 150 officers at any one time in and around the city handling all of our regular patrol efforts, but certainly focusing on making sure that the homes and the property around the burn area is secure. And we will be staunch in that effort. If you have, and this is a message to the community, if you have a righteous reason to be there, declare that reason to law enforcement personnel and we'll assist you. If you don't have a righteous or legal reason to be there, expect to be challenged and we will deal with you accordingly. The idea here is we want to make sure that we protect the people in this community, we protect the sanctity of these people's homes, and we will do that without fail. As you heard the mayor say, don't come here if that is the mission, if that's what you plan to do. You will run into somebody in one of these uniforms, and we will take care of that situation. So ensure that we are going to be staunch and very stern about the way that we're conducting this protection mission. I want to end it by simply saying the first responders in this city are second to none. Those partners that responded to help us really stood up, and you've got some really good elements that came out here to support this community and make it safe. So we will have ongoing and sustained operations. There will not be any lessening of operational capability for emergency services. We might find that some of the regular services will be out. We put some information out on that for social media and on the media to make sure that people understand that we may not have the counters open and some of those things for regular services, but all emergency services will be dealt with without any lessening of services or impact. So with that, I'll turn it back over to the mayor.
Now we can open it up to questions from any of our speakers that you may have. I can do Spanish now, or we can do one-on-one.
Well, the forceful nature of my delivery is really designed to impact what our caring is for this community. It's a community caring mission. We haven't had any incidents of looting, and we don't want any. And so the message is, don't come here if that's what you plan to do. You're going to run into one of us, and we're going to be staunching that effort. So we haven't had anything yet, but we're trying to expect the unexpected and get in front of these types of things.
You got questions for Chief Augustine?
Chief.
I do not. Right. Well, we we're still in a very active incident, right? And we have a dynamic fire that is 0% containment. But what caused a lot of last night's issues was the dynamic winds, wind gusts to 70 miles an hour, and very erratic winds. At 2 in the morning, they changed direction heading westward, and we ended up having evacuations all the way to Glendale. So do I expect a risk of fire spread tomorrow? Yes. Do I expect erratic fire weather like we saw last night? No. We can confidently say those embers were spreading embercast 2+ miles, right? And we were in red flag conditions, right? And just acknowledging that we're in red flag conditions in January, right, should make us all pause. And so the humidity was so low last night that a single spark could cause a fire. And then you add in the wind gusts. And when I was driving to the fire last night, there was fires, dozens of fires starting just from the embers that were being thrown blocks, and miles ahead of the fire.
Chief, the owner of the Bunny Museum told us on our air on CBS KCAL9 that the fire hydrant in front of his museum was dry and that firefighters couldn't get any water out of it. Are you sure that all the hydrants are working? Was that a water pressure problem? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I can't comment on that specific instance because I don't know the facts of that, but I can tell you that it's very common in a brush fire in a city when you have that big of a fire with that many resources, we're going to tax our water supply and our water system. Then if you have a loss of power, which may impact the pressure, it's going to make it even worse. So yes, all of that. We're going to struggle on water supply on a very, very large brush fire like we saw last night with multiple structures on fire.
Do you feel that you got enough help, enough mutual aid quick enough? Did it arrive fast enough? Could it have helped?
Sure. What was great, if there was a positive thing from yesterday, is we were preparing for a wind event for multiple days in advance of what happened last night. We were preparing for a wind event as well as possible brush fire, but you had augmented staffing all over the county, and which really benefited us because we were able to be nimble, send resources to Palisades Fire early in the day, and they were sending us resources by the evening time. That's the benefit of the mutual aid system in California, specifically LA County. Yes.
As you're speaking right now on our air, we're showing live pictures of houses burned to the ground.
Yes.
These are images that you and everyone standing behind you has seen all day long. What do you say to homeowners that are watching this happen in real time?
We grieve for them, right? We are incredibly sorry that they have a loss of, well, for many of them, everything they own, right? And it's tough as your fire chief. That's my responsibility. I also know that last night was unprecedented conditions, where we did a lot of good work, but we were not able to save every residence or building that was out there.
But to see it, utilizing this way, even in 1,000 using this, moving forward, what are some biggest needs that you think things become
Well, first and foremost, it's very sad to see families dislodged, particularly families that have lost their home, and as the chief says, have lost everything. I think one of the biggest challenges is going to be to transition people who have lost their home into permanent housing. We have hundreds of homes that have been destroyed, and moving people into permanent long-term housing is definitely going to be a challenge. And it's going to be a challenge that we're going to engage the county, the state, and the federal government in.
Has there been any contact information, a website or phone number set up? So like a family member, if someone in the area was evacuated, or family is out of state or out of county, how do you track down your loved one?
Well, the standard 911 will be efficient enough to get us to the numbers that we need to get you. I would suggest that you make that call. To me, that stands to be an emergency, so let's do that. You can also contact our business line, and we can get you to the right people that can guide you in. If you think that your folks are at our evacuation center, which is right here behind us, we have plenty of staff that are here that can help you ID any family members or friends that might be here.
What's the business line?
I don't know that off the top of my head, unfortunately, but we can get that on our website.
Okay, this, again, to all affected residents, know that your city, your county, and other resources are there to help. If you need assistance, please reach out to us. Pasadena and its residents and Altadena, it's a resilient community. And I'm sure that we'll bounce back. In the interim, this is an evolving situation. And so we're asking people to listen in carefully to what the police chief, the fire chief are saying. If you're asked to evacuate, evacuate. If you're thinking about coming to Pasadena or Altadena for that matter to cause problems, think twice, because the Pasadena Police Department and the LA County Sheriffs will be there to greet you, and you will be arrested if you're engaging in conduct that you should not be engaging in. With that, that will complete our, unless there are other questions. Thank you.
Network Fitness Connects enjoy for $5 down with no commitment for a limited time. With total access to all locations, plus girl classes, kids club, basketball, and more. It's your gym come true. Join Fitness Connection today.
You may get a little excited when you shop at Burlington. Get more, get less. Burlington, these brands, wow. You may get a little excited when you shop at Burlington.
Video to our monitor shows a picture of a tragedy. Welcome back to CBS News 24/7. I'm Reed Cowan. So our team continue to monitor multiple wildfires raging out of control in Southern California. They are driven by some major winds. In fact, we just learned the death toll is at 2 in the Eaton fire. That death toll expected to only climb in the coming hours. In fact, it is so bad that we don't really have a full count of the homes that have been burned or destroyed. But at this hour, the number stands at 1,000 structures. So they just don't know how many are businesses, how many are homes. But we do know this: thousands of Californians forced to leave with just the clothing on their backs. Now let's talk about the Palisades fires, just one of 4 wildfires raging in Los Angeles County. At least 70,000 people evacuated. So picture the number of seats in your average university football stadium, right? Like about 30,000. Double that and add 10,000 seats to that. That gives you an idea of the enormity of the people who are on the run right now, trying to navigate arguably some pretty narrow streets there. In fact, the Los Angeles fire chief says resources and services are stretched thin.
With the Pacific Palisades fire, we know that it continues to demand a significant amount of resources and attention. A second major brush fire, now referred to as the Hearst fire, has erupted in the Sylmar area of Los Angeles. Now, together, these fires are stretching the capacity of emergency services to their maximum limits. The Los Angeles City Fire Department is battling these 2 major fires while also maintaining, I want to focus on this as well, 911 services for the city's approximate 4 million residents. Now, despite the severity of the conditions, our department remains fully committed to safeguarding lives and property.
Hey, you're not going to be able to put that out. Wow.
You're not going to be able to put that out. That's a real life moment of humanity playing out there. Someone risking their life to try to save their home, and then a neighbor risking their life to say, look, you can't do it. It's too late. Heed the warnings. Leave your home and get out. And then, of course, the terrifying moment that intense winds sent those flames turning back on him. These are just touchstones to human stories in the midst of flames. Look at this. Nearly 100 people of the Pasadena Senior Center evacuated in the night, some of them in wheelchairs, some as old as 102. So let's go live to CBS News, Elise Preston in Malibu. Elise, we can hear the winds whipping there. We hope you are safe and your crews are safe. We're just now hearing the death toll of the Eaton fire and getting that preliminary count of the structures burned. Tell us about the personal stories that you are hearing where you are.
Yeah. Well, Reed, thank you for having us. We are trying our best to stay safe. As you mentioned, you can hear the winds. It is incredibly strong. Just to give you what people are kind of dealing with. I'm hanging on to a pole right now as we stand here and talk to you. But right where we are, we're on the Pacific Coast Highway, and this is exactly the moment what you were talking about. Right down this stretch of road. We went down there for a little bit. It was too dangerous for us to stay, but we just saw a continuous stream of homes that were burned to the ground, flames that were still going, and firefighters are back there trying to get them out. As you mentioned, the wind that you can hear is carrying these embers so quickly. And so they're spending a lot of time just trying to get out what they can because they don't want those embers, those flames to pick up and spread. Already 1,000 structures have been destroyed. This fire is just devastating. And we're hearing firefighters, we're hearing sheriff's deputies, police turn people around right here at this intersection right off the Pacific Coast Highway. Right in front of us, there are dozens of cars of people who have fled their homes, and this is really where they're going. I was just walking down the roadway not too long ago. People were crying in their cars. People were praying. Just a lot of catastrophic things that people are dealing with. You know, they had moments. We know that these winds were coming, but they moved so quickly, these flames. And so people had to just leave. They had to abandon their homes. And it's not just structures. These are homes that they spent their entire lives to build. They have memories in these homes. And so it is a very devastating thing for these families that have been here. And to see that destruction right down that roadway, it's just heartbreaking, Reed.
Elise, and we want to acknowledge for our viewers, there's about an 8-second delay between where I am and where Elise is. So just be patient with us viewers as we talk back and forth with Elise. You're watching continuing coverage here on CBS News 24/7 of that Southern California wildfire emergency. We want to let our viewers know we expect at any minute President Joe Biden is going to be in Santa Monica on a tarmac with something to say to the people of California and the people of the nation. Elise, what are people doing by way of helping each other? We know in times like these, it really takes community to get through this. And you're hearing stories of firefighters and neighbors helping neighbors. Paint a picture of the other big story, and that is the fact that there are people helping each other.
Yeah. There are a lot of people helping. There have been a lot of resources that have poured out just in the last 12 hours or so. And keep in mind, there are quite a few wildfires that are burning in the Southern California area. So it's not just this Malibu section that we are in right now. Right down the roadway, I met a man who was kind of hanging out. He said that his home is safe. He feels safe as far as how the winds are directing, and he has not been told that he needs to evacuate. He's staying in his home right now, trying to see if anyone else just needs a place to stay. Excuse me, this winds and this ash. He's staying in his home, hoping to open it up for people who have been forced to flee their homes. So you're seeing a lot of that humanity. You're seeing people offer up water. You're seeing people just pray for one another and just say, how are you doing? And I think that's maybe like a small question, but it probably means a lot, especially at a time like this. This is just total devastation. I've never seen anything like it. People are telling us that they've never seen anything like it. People who have been in California, you know, they are prepared for some winds to kind of kick in at some points in the season. They're saying that they've never seen anything like this. These winds are incredibly strong. Some of the winds topped out at about 100 miles per hour overnight, and these winds are still continuing. There are some signs. We've seen signs like big street signs just ripped off from the poles, and they're kind of going down the highway. So people are also, you know, fearful of these flying objects. I've covered hurricanes. I've lived in a hurricane belt. That's how I would liken these winds. But instead of carrying water, they are spreading flames. They are spreading embers. And if you just see the devastation, you know, because
So again, it's the tragedies that are going on right now are occupying our first responders. The firefighters are doing a magnificent job in responding. Law enforcement has basically called in everybody. Detectives have been putting on uniforms. They called in help from outside this county, and they're responding in force. But again, there will always be people who look at this as an opportunity to cheat others, to steal from others, to scam others. And I want them to understand that we will not be taking this lightly. We will go after you. We will make sure that you understand that this will not be tolerated.
District Attorney, I'm sure you know that there have been 3 arrests for looting in the Eaton Fire area. We first got wind of that from LA County Sheriff Robert Luna. And then earlier in her remarks, the board chair of LA County Supervisors, Catherine Barger, she had a message. She said the full weight of the county will come down on you. That was her message to potential looters out there. She mentioned that she had already been in contact with you. So talk about the relationship, this newfound relationship that you have with the Board of Supervisors and how you're working to get this word out.
Obviously, they may be having a delay or, go ahead.
So we are working hand in glove with the Board of We're working hand in glove with the Board of Supervisors, with law enforcement.
We're obviously having some signal issues with Mr. Hockman's picture.
There should be no ambiguity whatsoever. We will.
Go ahead. I think we got you back.
Are you able to hear me at this point?
Yes, go ahead.
Right. We are working hand in glove with all law enforcement, the county board of supervisors. Right. We are working hand in glove with
District Attorney, if you can hear us, we really want to get your message out. So it would be best if you could just call, if we can call you and we can get you on the phone so that we can clearly get your message broadcast to our viewers tonight.
Yeah, obviously there's all sorts of technical challenges all over the place, but we hoped to get you on the phone and to finish up this conversation because it's an important conversation and we want to hear about your sister as well. In the meantime, as we get that figured out, let's go to Matthew Seedorf, our reporter who is on the ground in Pacific Palisades. It's now nighttime where you are. Talk about what you're seeing.
Yeah, we're by Castle Rock East. I know that the